Wow. This was an episode that I think absolutely no one saw coming. Except for Lucariboi, apparently. But it is one that everyone, myself included, was incredibly hyped for. Stitch vs. Rocket. What more is there to say about it? It's the Raptors' favorite episode, and it's the first episode where Potato King didn't get a W this season, so that's something. Look, I'm terrible at intros, so I just want to get straight into this episode, because, oh boy, I am hyped to talk about this. Also, sorry for this video being later than normal. I was in another country, and I didn't want to really work on a video while I was on vacation, so. Now, for starters, I gotta complain. Not about the episode itself, no, but about the build-up to the episode. They had the perfect opportunity to add Stitch into older Death Battle episodes, similar to how Disney promoted Lilo and Stitch by putting him in different other Disney IPs. That was a real missed opportunity there, guys. Freaking... that was free promotion right there. Anyway, moving on to the actual episode, I really like the analysis. Mainly just hearing about Wiz and Boomstick talking about Lilo and Stitch just fills me with such joy. It's so surreal hearing them talk about animated movie characters, even after Iron Fist vs. Poe. Hell, even the cutaway gag is pretty punny. Pretty funny. That is a blooper that is definitely staying in. That is too funny not to ignore. Anyway, the cutaway gag is funny. I just love the idea of Chad screaming "fuck you" when he gets away from the microphone after Wiz tries to win him back with the exploding planets. And Dummy's always a treat to see. Rocket's analysis is just kinda alright for me. Mostly due to the overabundance of Marvel characters in the show, but hearing Boomstick talk about raccoons made me smile. For those who don't know, I love these little garbage goblins. I want one as a pet. I will call him Kirby, and I'll give him his own room to sleep in. Oh yeah, and the footage of raccoons in the back isn't exactly helping my Trash Panda addiction. And neither is Boomstick in a raccoon hat. That is adorable. Oh hey, Kool-Aid Randy. Moving on to the fight, and already I have to praise it for its setting. I don't know whose idea it was to put the characters in Space Hawaii, but whoever it is, I hope you got a massive raise out of it. It's probably Liam, since he wrote the episode, but either way, I love it. It reminds me of Skylands. Also, Ice Cream Guy is there. I hope nothing bad happens to him. One thing I don't like, however, is the setup to the fight. Stitch blowing up Rocket's ship while he's working on it isn't a bad idea for a setup, but Stitch just growling at Rocket after he was rightfully pissed at the fact that his ship got destroyed seems weirdly out of character for Stitch. Maybe instead of him just attacking Rocket for no good reason, you could have just had him try to repair the ship, only for it to be destroyed in some other way by Stitch accidentally, leading to Rocket getting very mad and attacking Stitch, at which point he destroys Stitch's necklace, and then the fight can continue on as normal. Because this isn't doing it for me, Chief. And speaking of Stitch growling, I am not a fan of his speaking voice. When he growls, he sounds really good, but I don't know. Something about his speaking voice sounds off to me. It's not bad, just weird. Okay, enough negatives. Let's get back to the positives. I really like these sprites. Origin the PogChamp really knocked it out of the park with both of them. Stitch does start out a bit janky in the beginning, but outside of that, they're very smooth, and his facial expressions are hilarious. I love them. Rocket also has great sprites. I really like this design for him a lot. I think it was based on Avengers Endgame, and I, for one, really like it. The brief gunfight the characters have is pretty cool, and I am so happy they included the "your mom" joke. I totally predicted they would do that, but still, it was very nice to see. However, I am not really a fan of Stitch's combo on Rocket. It looks stiff, janky, and it ends with a Season 7-esque spin throw that I do not like. But then, we get to the forest scene, and I am immediately won back. We get a nice hand-drawn Stitch, even if his colors are less saturated by a wide margin, but it leads to a really funny visual gag of Stitch running back and forth on fire, trying to avoid Rocket's really big guns. It's such a cute reference to the forest scene in Guardians 2 that I feel like could have been perfect if Rocket was humming to the tune of Jailhouse Rocket. That would have been hilarious and adorable, almost as if he was listening to it on a Zune or something. Rocket then blows up Stitch with a big-ass nuke and teleports away from the ensuing blast, but then Stitch uses a bit of wreckage to surf on a wave that was created by the explosion and says the phrase that I am not going to say out of fear of getting space cancelled. Honestly, Death Battle, do better. This is really disgusting behavior, SMH. And I love the idea that Rocket, fucking Rocket of all people, was so disgusted by this that he thought it warranted the use of a bigger gun. That is perfect. I will admit, though, not really a fan of how Stitch's power surge happens. I mean, it was going to be included regardless, and I'm not against it, but, like, it has no impact. Stitch dodges a bunch of rockets, and then immediately goes into power surge. Where's the build-up? I get that he got the power-up from the missile that Rocket fired, but still. Also, I just realized that Stitch is doing the same combo of attacks that he did in the first movie when he tried to break Leela free from Gantu's ship, and I think that is a fantastic detail. I'm also not really a fan of Rocket's Thanos Buster speech. I mean, him calling it the Thanos Buster is cool and all, because, like, from the looks of it, his gun looks like a copy of one of Tony's weapons from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or whatever. I don't know where it comes from. But I feel like something along the lines of, "Eat Thanos, Buster, motherflocker," would have been better for Rocket's character. And yes, I do know my Rocket voice is flawless. Thank you for noticing. You only come to this channel for like the 10 out of 10 impressions, don't you? However, I do like how it actually does damage to Stitch by removing his extra arms and one of his antennae, and even sending him into the water. But I don't like how Stitch is apparently stronger than a weakened Thanos, as he just kinda shrugs it off when he logically shouldn't. Like, I know the freaking episodes don't have, or the animations don't have to exactly match up to their analysis, but like, I feel like this one kinda does have to. But once again, I do like this next scene a lot. Stitch gets sent into the water, and we get this nice POV shot of Stitch looking around for anything that could help him. We even get a zoom in, which in any other circumstance I think would just be something for realization, but in this case, because it's Stitch and he has zoom in vision, it works a lot. It's pretty cool attention to detail. But did the track really have to have this underwater effect? Because if you listen to the track before watching the episode, like I did, you would have had this episode spoiled for you in a minor way. Like, couldn't they just have added the muffled effect for the track in the episode and leave it out for the actual release? Because they've done that before. They've cut out certain parts of songs, like with Hedge of Tomorrow in Dragons vs. Silver. It's just, like, why? Why do you guys still do this? Anyway, I do like the ending to the fight. Stitch uses Rocket's missile gun to escape the water and impale Rocket. He says aloha to our little not mustelid mate before breaking his teleporter thingamajig as Rocket is sent to his orbital satellite, blowing it, as well as himself, up and creating a really nice looking bunch of fireworks. Stitch then lands back on Space Hawaii and accidentally kills Ice Cream Guy. No! And then the little bastard has the audacity to eat his ice cream! What a monster! Regardless, I do like this ending. Sure, the episode isn't anything super creative, but it looks really nice and it ends with a double KO. I think Stitch is like the only Death Battle character to get a multi-kill and not die in the end. I could be wrong, but hey, he got a double KO. Good for him. The only way it could have been better is if Rocket actually got to finish his F-bomb, since Guardians 3 is the first MCU movie to have an uncensored or not cut off F-bomb. That would have been a super cute reference, and I would have loved that. The post-analysis is also pretty good, going over how intelligent and fast Stitch is, how tactical Rocket is, and how powerful his weapons are, and how Stitch is more level-headed while Rocket is a lot more reckless. And hey, Boomstick even still has his raccoon head on. That's adorable. I love it. Oh, and the ending where Stitch breaks in to announce himself as the winner was a really nice touch. I loved it. Overall, I love this episode. Yeah, I was probably the harshest I have been so far in terms of my critiques, but those critiques are either nitpicks or come out of a place of love for the characters and their movies. And I actually enjoyed this episode more than every other episode this season so far. Yes, even Chosenborn. Look, do I think this episode is the best this season? No. Do I think that the track is the best this season? No. But did I have an absolute blast with this episode, more so than any other episode this season? Hell yes! This was honestly a dream come true for a fan of both. Especially someone else I know who is a big fan of this matchup. Wink wink, nudge nudge, it's the Raptor. Also, Jailhouse Rocket. Despite spoiling the episode for those who haven't seen it, fits the characters really well. It has a really nice Elvis vibe to it, which fits with Stitch, and this style of music feels like it came straight out of Rocket's Zune. Rocket's Zune, sorry. And as critical as I have been with the voice acting for Stitch, Jeff Shine does a really good Rocket voice. He's really got a gruffness that fits the character well. And again, as critical I have been with the voice, Delton Engel Sorrell, I am very sorry if I mispronounced that name, freaking does a great job with Stitch, especially with the growls and, well, at the Aloha at the end. It's really nice. It's really nice they included that. Overall, out of complete bias, I'm giving this episode a 9.9 out of 10. The main thing holding it back is the track spoiling the episode and the fact that they killed Ice Cream Guy. As for the next time, oh boy, Tenebrae is super excited for Vader vs. Obito, as it is his most wanted. And you know what, as are the rest of us, but just not as much as him. But you know what, considering one of my favorite episodes is a Star Wars episode, I have incredibly high hopes for this. Do I think Vader vs. Obito will probably be as good as Yoda vs. Mickey? Probably not, but it's still going to be fire. I really hope Devil Artemis is animated it because he did an amazing job with the Palpatine vs. Xehanort DBX. Overall, I'm hyped. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. If I reach 1,420 followers on Twitter, I'll do a face reveal there. And maybe on my channel, but I don't know yet. Oh yeah, and I've also got something coming up that you won't want to miss, especially if you're a big fan of a certain franchise that I am also a big fan of. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And while you're down in the description following me, go check out Lucariboui's review as well as our reaction to the episode. Both of those will be linked down below and will be on his channel. With that in mind, I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!